Hello and welcome to this free agency preview video where we're going to cover the LPL. Free agency doesn't technically start until I believe the 17th or 18th of November. Despite the rumors you may read on various platforms, it's all verbal essentially until free agency begins. Actually, some teams you'll see X player allowed to search for opportunities, this, that, or the third, and that's a team allowing a player to go and talk to other teams. But then if there isn't a situation like that, one has to wonder how much tampering is occurring in the LOL esports space, given how many moves are being made before free agency even begins. And well, I hate this time of year because of that, because we like to greenlight teams to break the rules in certain points, but then they also do contract prisons, and then we bitch and moan about them, and it's like, well, you are letting them get away with shit. So if you just held them accountable to everything that they do, then things would just not happen. But people are so impatient, they can't just let things be the way they are, and it really just screws up free agency to begin with. On the board, there aren't many names, right? Well, these are the players that are currently under contract for next year. On these teams, there's a lot of blank spaces, a lot of 2024 contracts, in part due to apparently the LPL going to a salary cap model, possibly. I think they might already be in one, to be honest. LDL getting completely readjusted. We'll see that in a couple of years down the road. I believe anybody under 18 or 21 will not be allowed in the LDL anymore, which will mess things up. Also, in black, you have Korean import players, red LPL players, and then red Chinese players, so domestic players, or in the case of Fofo, not quite. I don't know if PCS players are considered imports or not, so I left him red. Obviously, that's a political shitstorm that I am not going to discuss. And then in blue, we have a couple players that are substitutes, but were listed on the starting roster for the team, at least on Wikipedia. So they were substitutes this past year, so they're going to appear on the board because, hell, they don't have someone starting over them right now. So BLG, Night and On, both under contract. The rest, not so much. Top Esports, Jackie Love, LNG, Zika, Weibo, Xiaohu. The entire roster of NIP are free agents. Sheer for JDG, Anyone's Legend, Croco, Hope, and Cal. They are one of one of four teams on the board that have the majority of their roster under contract for next year as of the moment. FPX, Jalahu, and Care under contract. Jingy also. Wayward, Hung, and Fofo for Team World Elite. EDG, Solo Kill and Leave. IG, YSKM, and On. LGD, Birdall, Hai Chow, and Xiaoyi. OMG, Starry, which is nice that he's under contract. And Lin Fang. Rare Adam, Vikla, and Asum are both under contract, as well as Yu. Thunder Talk, Beshwan 1XN, Ultra Prime Yukai, and then RNG, XZZ is a substitute. He did play a bit in summer, but that was because of the disaster of a roster they had, like an absolute disaster. And he is technically a substitute, I'd say, behind Tangwan, but Tangwan is a free agent. So you notice on here there are, like I said, a lot of blank spaces. So a lot of rumors about, oh, this team wants to spend, that team wants to spend. Well, in part, there are just a lot of jobs available. There could be a lot of movement and a lot of parity next year. I think to assume that one team or another team will be superior to another, especially out of the ones at the top. So, if you notice, it's kind of in an order. This was based on the, I guess, championship points from this past year. And then, like, EDG and down are alphabetical for those that didn't even make, like, top 9 or whatever. But either way, or didn't get any championship points at all. But the point I'm trying to make is these top teams, there's going to be a lot of movement between them. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, hell, look at, like, the top lane role top lane and AD carry both seem pretty, relatively full to mid, jungle, and support. I mean, hell, there are only 2 supports under contract going into next year right now on the 17 starting lineups. But in top lane, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 of the teams almost. 1, 2, 3, 4. And more than what we have nine 80 carries, so more than half of the 80 carry spots are full, or at least have a player to take the place right now. Just under half of the top lane. Um, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Just under half of the mid lane, but then only three junglers and two supports. So there's going to be a lot of movement. And people are going to say, this team could look like this, that team could look like that. Yeah, there are a lot of combinations when there are this many empty spots, not to mention buyouts, etc., for those on the board. Of course, like I said, I'm sure somebody's going to comment down below with the rumors that they're reading on some Chinese Reddit or whatever. I mean, sure, I don't give any credence to really rumors at all until it's in the contract database. It's no use to me. We'll talk about those moves when they come. But this is just like the outline. Now let's look at the board of who's a free agent that played last year. Okay, so a lot of names on the board, right? A lot of red, a couple black. Those black players listed are from Korea, or I don't know if they're imports or not. Like I said, I don't know if they're imports. That's why they're in black, because LCK tends to be the LCK symbol is represented in black, I believe. So that's why I do it. Nevertheless, though, a lot of players listed here, right? Top lane, Bin, 369, Breathe, Shanji, Flandre, Ale, all very good players. Harry also, Jungle Roll, Shun, Wei, Tien, Weiwei, Tarzan, Kanavi, Aki, Milky Way, JJ, Meteor. Just star-studded options for these teams. Like there's gonna be a lot of freaking movement in the LPL. It's why I'm excited for the 17th. It's why I don't read rumors. It's why I don't care about rumors, because I want that day to be what it's supposed to be, which is what are these teams going to be? Let's wait for it. It's like Christmas in that way. Mid lane, Cream, Scout, Rookie, Yagao, Shanks. So mid lane, not quite as many options. I mean, UCal and Angel are kind of budget options. Not that in bad, but as in like good budget options. It probably could get a team into the playoffs and be competitive. Bot lane, Elk, Gala, Light, Ruler. Ruler is a big one, of course. Duck Dom, Bodic, Stay, Abel, Doggo. Doggo should go back to the PCS like yesterday. I don't know. He needs to go back to the PCS and just go to Worlds and probably do better than whatever team that could possibly give him a roster spot in the LPL. Like, go back to the PCS, go join PSG, and just go to Worlds. Just do that and go to Worlds and probably be very competitive. Doggo, please just do it, because you're not going to get an opportunity in the LPL. That's just not going to happen. Support, Mako, Crisp, Hung, Missing. Very good players there. We got guys like PP God down towards the bottom. Ming, Niket is a player that's a free agent, and I thought Niket did well in his rookie season. I hope he gets another opportunity on a better team. I think he could be very cheap for somebody that wants to maybe get one of these top 80 carries and then say, hey, we're going to go cheap on support. Maybe get a player like, I don't know, Light or Elk, and you say, hey, we're going to put Niket alongside him. And some people say, oh, that's not fair to them. They should have a player like Missing or this or that. It's like, I think Niket's going to be a really, really good player, and he is cheap enough that it could allow you to free up money elsewhere, which is something that needs to be thought about. People just like, they think these star-studded players need to all be together for super teams, but how often do super teams not work? Well, let's see. This past Worlds, it didn't work. The Worlds before it didn't work. The Worlds before that didn't work. 2021, was that EDG team a super team? It had Viper, it had Mako, it had Scout, but, I mean, JJ hadn't won. I don't know. And then just keep going back in time. You find the super teams that won. Like, everyone roots for a super team, but they really don't win. So, I don't know why we root for them all that much. There are star-studded players on this board. A lot of options, plus all the LDL players. Of course, there are others that deserve an opportunity at this level, at the top level. With that little esports kind of constricting a bit, we will see some changes. I do wonder how many, with the LCS becoming Americas with Brazil and Latin America, and now less teams just simply be in Tier 1. It does make me think that there's even less of a chance that we'll see a Chinese import in the Americas. I mean, TSM tried it, and I think that's one thing people got to give TSM. People like TSM botched it. They should never have done it, and this and that. But at the same time, they were the ones willing to try. And frankly, even if it failed, and they picked the wrong players, they deserved. I mean, they tried. And there are great players in the LDL that deserve an opportunity in a Tier 1 team. And due to the community sentiment and things like that, it just doesn't happen because the community is a joke sometimes. So. That is what it is. But this board is star-studded. I expect a lot of movement and a lot of interesting things to happen in the LPL. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube supporter. And hope to see you again tomorrow.